Get down.
Hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing? You guys. Yo, I'm looking at my analytics and I gotta say, I really do appreciate all of you. Whether you hate me, you love me, you're just here, you found me off of some random-ish, you've been waiting for this video, you saw the title and it intrigued you, whatever brought you here, I just want you to know I appreciate you. I tell people this all the time, you know, finding a community online is difficult, but it's so important to find a community that keeps coming back. And when they come back, you should always ask them to leave a little something. So if you're here, you like the content I'm creating, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. That's all I'm asking. Hey, I'll do a little strange things for some change, but neither here or there. You're here to hear about 10 plus people who are not, none of which are Thomas Lockley, who agree that Yasuke is a samurai. Yes, that's right. I went and did the research. I went and found 10 plus people who are either journalists, historians, or have some backing that dictates they are an authority on the topic. And I've brought this here for you guys. For the people who didn't want to do the research, for the people who want to cry themselves a river about Thomas Lockley, and we'll keep it 100. All 10 of these entries, all 10 plus of these entries, were before Thomas Lockley wrote his book, and even before, some of them were even before the Yasuke Netflix series. So these are 10 independent of each other. Thomas Lockley, Assassin's Creed, the hype, the drama. These are people who said Yasuke's name before you even knew what it was. I went and found them for you. I'm not going to hold you guys. Let's get into it. This should be fun. This is Hariyama, and I know I said it was somebody that was before the hype, but I wanted to mention him because as an honorable mention because, one, he is what's popping right now, and he came out and spoke in support of Yasuke being a samurai, but a lot of people were calling his credentials into question, and I just find that to be so disturbing. How people can call this man a fake, like he hasn't done the work. He graduated from the Graduate School of Art, Ryukyu University, with a master's degree in history and Japanese history, to be exact. He has worked with Yamayashi Prefectural Archaeology Center and Yamayashi Prefectural, just for the record, I'm going to mess up all of these names, History, Yamayashi Peripheral Museum, and Yamayashi Peripheral Center High School. So he's been a teacher, museum curator, archaeologist. The man has the credentials. All right. So we're not going to sit up here and say that he's, a lot of people are saying he was being sponsored by BlackRock and this and Sweet Green. Shut up. You guys sound dumb. This dude is a nerd. No one's paying him to do this. He's doing this because he loves this shit, okay? So let's not sit up here and pretend like he's not the real one, all right? Like he's not a GOAT, like he's not part of something bigger, right? So that's just one honorable mention. But let's get into our first list of people who have no connection to Assassin's Creed, who have no connection to Thomas Lockley, everything was made before, all right? Relax. We'll get into it. My first one. We got to come back to America. Clap it up. The good old US of A. The good old US of A. The Legend of Yasuke. Iwakuni, Yagachi, Japan, 2/18/2013. Story by Corporal Kenneth Trotter Jr. Salute our goddamn troops. He's a fucking Marine. Hoo-ha. He's a Marine. Put some respect on his name. The people. He's a Marine Corps air, and he was stationed out in Japan. And what do you know? If it's good enough for the good old US of A, I mean, it has to be good enough for the rest of the world, right? Because we're America. We go wherever we want and we do whatever we want. As a person who has read our history books and knows how much we like to alter our history books, it's quite refreshing to see a man go put his life on the line for our country and in his time find history. You guys feel free to hit up Corporal Kenneth Trotter Jr., but you better put some respect on his name. This man did research to confirm that Yasuke was a samurai. Yasuke had a set of standards he probably never encountered before. He ate not only at the table with other Japanese, but often ate with Nobunaga and his family, and received money from Nobunaga and his brother, either Oda Nobunaga. And Yasuke fought alongside Nobunaga warriors and only surrendered his sword when last of Nobunaga warriors did likewise. Now, there's a lot of questions about if whether he was a samurai or not, or if he was this or not, but he was clearly a warrior. And if you're a warrior in those times, working for a daimyo, which Oda Nobunaga was, by definition, you were one of his bodyguards, and by definition, you were a retainer, samurai, bushin. Whatever you want to call him, he was recognized as one of the top elite warriors and was actually allowed to eat next to the daimyo, which wasn't allowed by most samurais. He was living in his own property and land. He was a step above. He was a cut above. You feel me? You know, the people recognized him. The people recognized him. Where's my Ric Flair woo? Woo! He was a cut above. But a lot of people was trying to put salt on his name like he wasn't that man. Yasuke was that man. But like I said, you know, that's just our first one. Let's go to our second one. Shigi no trivia. Who was Yasuke, the black warlord appointed by Oda Nobunaga? Warlord? Ah, damn. That sounds more intimidating than a samurai. A warlord? God of War? Yahoo Japan. Yahoo Japan. I went across to find this. Oda Nobunaga, who was naturally curious, took a liking to Yasuke and asked the Aujino to give him the sword. It is said that Oda Nobunaga wanted to keep Yasuke as a samurai and to promote him to the position of castle owner. In the future, it also said that Oda Nobunaga gave Yasuke a mansion and a sword to hold onto his waist. Notice here it doesn't describe the length of the sword, the size of the sword, but he definitely had property, and he said he wanted to make him a samurai. And who is this information coming from? Damien Watanabe. Oh, that's we can't trust him. We can't trust him. Oh, born in Kagosawa Prefecture. Oh, so Prefecture isn't like a status; it's a location. Okay, nice to know. You know, who is this? Who is this guy? Does he have any skin in the game? It says here he's the president of the Institute of History and Culture. He's a president of the Institute of History and Culture, so he has to know more than you. In my comment section right now, talking about he's not a samurai. History, Faculty of Literature, Kawashi University, completed his doctoral program as a graduate at the School of Literature for Bakuwa University, a PhD in literature. The man's read more books than you. I think he knows. And when he says Yasuke is a samurai, who am I to argue with him? The professor said he was a samurai. That's the equivalent of you arguing with the teacher and you're failing the class. You're failing the class, sir. Maybe you should be quiet and listen. All right, that's what, number 2. Here's number 3. July 19, 2016. Contributed by Robert F. Fikes. Okay, sounds like an American name. Yasuke's career as a samurai, starts off with it, is relatively short-lived. Okay. But eventually, when Nobunaga, former general Akechi Mitsuhide, which I found out he died 2 weeks after betrayal, snakes don't get to live, it's almost as if Oda Nobunaga was keeping everything together so people didn't get, assassinated in these streets. But it'd be your closest man's. It's funny how it was the brother you knew, not the brother you claimed. Damn. Anyway, he torched and he basically, Yasuke went to go defend the heir of Oda Nobunaga, and when that fight was over with, after fighting for hours, after that fight was over with, he refused to commit seppuku, and that's because more than likely people believe because of his Christian upbringing, and it just didn't sit well with him to commit a cardinal sin of the Lord. But who is this Robert F. Fisk? Oh, he's a black man. Robert F. Fisk Jr., 1970 graduate from Tuskegee University, earned a graduate's degree in modern European history and library sciences. So if anyone can look up a book and figure out where to find information, it's this man, right? Independent historian, San Diego State University, and subject to bibliography for African studies, European and American, Middle Eastern, and African history. Fikes published numerous journals, articles, essays, encyclopedia entries. Have you ever made an encyclopedic entry? Have you ever done anything significant enough to warrant an encyclopedic entry? These are the people you're arguing with. You're not arguing with me about Yasuke being a samurai. I'm merely showing you who said he was a samurai and why I believe him. But what's that? Number what? 1, 2. What number are we on? 3? That's 3? Okay, let's go 4. Let me send y'all to the brothers. You ever been to Chicago, the Meat Pie brothers, the Meat Pie Muslims? Let me show you what they be talking about. On Military Science, a guide to understanding the meaning of FOI. This is basically a military strategy book about how operations should be ran in military structures. This is by Michael D. Shabazz Muhammad. They always got some exaggerated ass names. You gotta love the Bean Pie Muslims, man. Gotta love them. Notable, Yasuke was also a Japanese name used to refer to the black slave servant. The Jesuits who arrived in Japan in 1579, in 1581, Yasuke accompanied to the capital and caused such sensation that Lord Nobunaga was desirous of meeting him. Yasuke was described by Nobunaga in his chronicles of their first meeting on March 23rd, 1581, as a good-looking man. Hey, the more sexy. Healthy and strong. A black page from the Christian countries, about 26 to 27 years of age. He had strength greater than 10 men and spoke a little Japanese. So not only was this telling us that Yasuke was extremely intelligent and a physical specimen, he was able to pick up on Japanese language, cultures, and customs, and was graceful about it. He was humble about it. Yasuke spoke a little bit of Japanese. The Lord Nobunaga enjoyed talking with him and was impressed by his strength. Nobunaga was later attacked and killed by Kyoto by the forces of Akechi Mishihide. Yasuke went with Nobunaga's heir to Nijo Castle and even fought alongside other samurai allies. It's almost as if the consensus is, why would you have a guy, let's just put this into practicality. Why would you have a guy who is 26, 27, strong, described as being as strong as 10 men, 10 of your best men, he's as strong as. He understands the language, humble, and you just have him sitting there? Why wouldn't you have him as a force of reckoning? Of course you would put him into your military. Of course you would train him on how to use a sword. Of course you would make him an asset, not a liability. There's no faculty in my mind that lets me believe that they would just have him there for 2 years as a figure piece. He was out there doing work. But a few of you guys can't believe that. Y'all can't stand to see my boy rise. What's that, 5? 1, 2, that's 5? All right, let's go with a little bit more cartoonish ones. That one, when did that one come out? Let me make sure I'm giving y'all the dates on these things. Copyright 2011. That's when I graduated from high school. Way before Assassin's Creed. Way before Thomas Lockley. Wow. Let's go a little cartoony, right? Ninja Attack. True Tales of Assassins, Samurai, and Outlaws. Revised edition, 16 new pages, all in full color for first time. Hiriko Yoda and Matt Alt. Gives off a cartoonish vibe. But literally, in the publication of this, they have to describe to people to not practice any of the techniques described here, as they are not responsible for any injuries that take place. While on the cartoonish sides, it's no question that Yoda Hiruku and Matt Alt aren't legitimate, as they were major winners of the new and upcoming entrepreneurs as a combo for writing and helping to translate lost history and making it into digestible content for newer readers, saying in a few articles that they plan to make things more approachable. Their goal was to tell the truth, but make it understandable. Customs and cultures get lost in transition. The integrity of the message was more important than leaving it undisturbed. They wanted people to know about the stories that were brought into question. What stories we're talking about? Boom, Yasuke.
Get down!
Boom, Yasuke. That's who we're talking about. I think I like Yasuke bald. Older Yasuke looks cool. But okay. When did this come out? This is hard to digest. But if you calling this one fake, then you got to call the other pages fake, right? You got to call the other ones fake, and you can't do that. You can't do that because they did actually take time to pull articles and do the research for it. And when was this all contabulated? 2010. That's 6, right? Show me 7. The use of race and racial perspectives among Asian and Black. The Case of Japanese and African American by David Wright in 1998. Now we're getting somewhere. The African who had come to Japan 2 years earlier from Mozambique that gave the Mozambique money and a new name, Yasuke, enlisted him into Nobunaga's army. Another confirmation that Oda Nobunaga wasn't dumb. He saw this dude as a true asset to his military. So that means he got his training, learned the language, and became the right-hand man, basically, of Oda Nobunaga in less than 2 years. You guys wish you were as cool as Yasuke. Only to be betrayed by his brother in skin. That's crazy. Yasuke, after the battle in which Nobunaga was forced to commit seppuku, they came to Japan in an anthology of European reports on Japan, 1543 to 1640, by Michael Cooper, put out January 1995. While little is known about the samurai from Africa, there is no question about it. He was not the only African brought to Japan. Dare I say he wasn't the only samurai, but the only samurai documented. He went by the name Yasuke. Anthology. That's 8, right? Show me 9. A travel guide. What? You can go visit the temple of Oda Nobunaga, where Yasuke is mentioned at the temple? Book a flight, y'all. And who's this by? Tomiko Kamisha. Sounds like an expert. Oh, what? She's from the area? Oh my goodness, this is great.
Get down!
This is great. An expert from the area where Oda Nobunaga's shrine is located is talking about Yasuke being a samurai. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't even have to take their word for it. You can go to his shrine and see Oda Nobunaga's tribute to Yasuke. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, that's a grade 8. An illustration book, Yasuke, by Frederica Marisma. I won't count this necessarily as tough, but it's 32 pages dedicated to the alliteration based on true events to help children understand the story of Yasuke. 32 pages. This was made back in, when did this come out? Originally released in 2015 with a remastered edition that came out in 2023. Look at these stunning, this artwork is stunning. And the depiction of Yasuke in its finest form. The artwork is tough. But yeah, you could get this book. If reading's too hard, maybe a visualization will work. But who is he? As a person, Friedrich Marcis was born on a Saturday, May 1st, 1965. He was a student, a painter of Verrier Baronto Lagari from 1973 to 1983 and passed a bachelor's in art history, and then studied graphic art at Penningham School and the ECV School of Visual Communication. He not only has an artistic eye, he went out to go seek information and learn about Yasuke, traveling all the way back to his African origins and then heading to Japan, thus creating the tales that make the 32 pages we read in that book. A lot more people have put effort into figuring out the true story of Yasuke versus the armchair historians in my comment section right now. That's 9? All right, give me 10. Kirika feature the black samurai who served Nobunaga and survived Honnoji Incident. Tetsu Ayokamoa. We've already done the story of Yasuke 8 times now. I'm pretty sure you guys are well aware of it. But who's this guy? And when did this come out? 2020. This person doesn't seem to be interested. Oh, what has he been talking about? He knows the area well, knows local sports, understands the depravity of the situation, has over 5 pages with at least 5, so over 25 articles, and has been consistently writing at least for the last 10 years. Excellent. Probably, then this is more than 10. This is probably a number 11. But Hero, in that book that Thomas Lockley wrote, there's a co-author. And I don't think Thomas Lockley should get all this heat, especially when he had a co-author. Who was that co-author? Jeffrey Gidrad, nonfiction thriller, historical and speculative fiction, from fantasy to horror. His first book, Tales of the Jersey Devil, 13 original stories based on American folklore, was published in 2005. In 2019, Hanover Square Press St. Martin's Press published African Samurai, the true story of Yasuke, a legendary black warrior in feudal Japan. The true story. And notice, he can differentiate between nonfiction and true story. He put it up here. He has no reason to say otherwise. But he chose to say that it was true. It's almost as if they've done their research to confirm what they're writing is true. And they, of course, it's all in the book, cited. Born in Germany and shaped in New Jersey, Jeffrey currently writes and teaches in Ohio, where he is the writer and resident at Archbishop Moeller High School. Prior to teaching, he worked as a reporter and advertising copyright. As in, he knows how to do his research. As in, he is upheld to the highest standard of authenticity. He has a BA from Washington College and a master's from Miami University in English literature, and a bunch of other degrees that you guys wouldn't be nearly interested in. But okay, you still don't believe me. They deleted Thomas Lockley's information from the website and the law school that he worked with. Boom. No, they didn't. There he is right there. Look at yourself. Let me hit the refresh button. Boom. It's in Japanese. Oh, it's the Japanese website translated to English. Boom, he's right there. Nahil University College Law of Academic Publication. He's still there. Boom. His work. Thomas Lockley. I just covered more than 10 people. 10 different people who all agreed Yasuke was right. I'm not saying that there's a possibility in this universe that he probably wasn't a samurai, because anything is possible. You've been taught and raised not to believe your eyes. You've been taught and raised not to believe the hype. But for the love of everything that is good, if you are writing in my comment section right now about how Yasuke isn't a samurai because of some random piece of information you found on the internet, keep it to yourself. I do not care. I've already made my decision. And you, on the internet, by yourself, with no army, will never be able to change my mind. The vocal minority of you is utterly insane. This is some of y'all's 10th video, still trying to convince me that he wasn't a samurai. Japanese people don't care, because Japanese people told his story. They're the ones that propagated it. So let this be the end of it, okay? I've given you 11 plus. All of them will be cited below. 10 plus. Take your time, look through them, read them all. All before Assassin's Creed. All before the hype. These were people who had no money, no interest, no nothing to do with the game. From American heroes to entrepreneurs who wanted to refresh history, to an illustrator who wanted to bring Yasuke's story to life in a stunning color spread. Producers, historians, CEOs, PhDs, master's degrees, and the assortment. And here you are, a lonely individual, typing in your mother's basement with your neck beard growing out of control, with all that remains, a little bit of something and all of nothing, prepared to fight and defend the idea that someone who was a samurai couldn't possibly be a samurai in your fragile little mind. Gotta let this shit go. I told you guys, log off. Get some help. It's okay. But that's all I wanted to tell you guys. Hey, clap it up. Is Yasuke a samurai? Yes or no in the comment section. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that we're at this point. But here we are. I'll be playing the game November. Please, like, share, subscribe, donate. I want to buy a samurai outfit. It's kind of expensive. Hit up the Patreon. Donate. I'd love to put on a whole entire suit and maybe get a sword. So like every time I beat a boss, I can go cut. I'll put like one of y'all's names on one of the haters from the comment section. I'll put your name on a dummy and just cut them through. Just assassinate it. It'd be great. I'll probably get in trouble for that. But we'll see. We'll see what legal has to say.